Coach Jack in the building, bringing voice to the game, breaking down the plays, not just stats, wisdom in the name. Kenwood pride on the mic and hot takes, everything gets real. From locker room talk to the culture on the block, Dos Migos Network, yeah, we never gonna stop. Unfiltered.
What's good, folks? Welcome to this week's episode of What's Going On in Sports. It's your man, Coach Jack. Hey, we got a fire episode up here, and I definitely brought some friends with me. First of all, let's take a little housekeeping. I am so glad and happy to be doing this and being in this, having this platform, being able to talk about the thing that I love the most, besides my family, of course, sports. I'm thankful for the platform, so thank you for all your likes, comments, views, and shares and everything like that, and continue to support. Coach Jack greatly appreciates it. Now, this week, brought some friends with me. Y'all know my man, Big Tony, Mr. Google. He's in the studio with us live. This time, I brought a brother. To this day, I still call him Rook. Met this guy over 10 years ago. Literally have watched him grow. Good young man, and definitely a good, close, and personal friend of mine. Without further ado, my guy, Rook. Introduce yourself.
What's going on, y'all? What's going on? Jack, appreciate you bringing me in. Appreciate you bringing me in. Hey, y'all, like he said, it's your boy Rook. Actually, the name is actually Howard, but everybody call me.
That joker always gonna be Rook. That joker always gonna be Rook.
But nah, I'm just glad to be here, man. Get my point of views and all that good stuff. You got something good going here, bro. I appreciate. Look, hey, keep going what you're doing, bro. Keep doing what you're doing. At the end of the day, man, keep doing what you're doing.
I appreciate you, man. And thanks for coming up.
Absolutely.
We talked a couple of weeks ago when I started sharing episodes, and you know, like a true friend, like a true brother, he took a view, gave me some unfiltered feedback, which I always ask for, you know, and that's what it is about. It's not enough to have a platform if you're not going to do it right. So I definitely appreciate that. And, you know, I gave him a call and asked him, well, ironically enough, if I give y'all the true version, we was watching a Ravens game. Our team was stinking. Come on, y'all already know. He called me and asked me, did I see a certain play? And I hit the fucking ceiling. That's actually how it happened. And I was like, yo, we need to talk about this shit on air. So, long story short, I'm glad my guy's here today.
Absolutely.
So let's get right into this thing. Let's start up with our warm-up, man. The NBA is back. Now, football takes priority in my house. I love football. But let me tell you something, man. Longtime basketball fan, you know, watching Michael Jordan. I grew up on Jordan in this era. Stopped watching for a while, you know, Kobe, you know. Of course, we know all the legends now, present-day LeBron. But anytime you get a chance to see all the uprisings in the NBA, it's nothing short of amazing. It was just so much basketball on one opening night. You know, they always put out their bangers. So the highlight of the night for me, of course, was the San Antonio Dallas beatdown, 125-92. Man, Wembanyama went for 40 points, 15 rebounds, 1 assist, and 0 turnovers. Have y'all ever seen a big man be that efficient? That was nothing short of amazing. For Dallas, you know, Anthony Davis had 22 points and 13 rebounds. Nothing really to write home about because that's what we expect AD to do. But I definitely will say that San Antonio is probably going to be one of those teams that's waiting, you know, close to the finish line when this thing is all said and done. I think they're actually retooling, and I got them being in the play-in and the playoff. I think they're going to be one of those teams that's going to be down in the bracket. How about you? How about you, Rook?
Hey, man, look, I feel as though I feel the same way, honest and truthfully. It was a conversation, honest and truthfully. I saw it was a conversation on Facebook about Wembanyama. It was like, as a defender, what do you do? I wouldn't be surprised if Wembanyama literally averaged 40 points. You know what I'm saying? With these small defenders on Wembanyama being so tall, so big, so lanky. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised if he actually, like, averaged 40 points this season.
It's a valid point when you look at his physical stature, but I mean, like, this is the NBA now. Like, we got some of the most skilled defenders. So I will say that, you know, we will see when we get into the thick of things, you know, when you got to face the Houstons of the world with KD and his gang, you know, maybe OKC. It's the Jokers of the world. Like, somebody's going to be able to contest them. So I think it'll be, like, healthy competition down the stretch, but I definitely did enjoy that game. Next up, we got Boston and Philly. Boston took it out of Philly, man. Listen, bro, when I tell you, I wasn't expecting this. And if I'm being honest,
respectfully, who was?
Now, but here's the crazy part. Right out the gate, you figure because Boston is who they are and what they've been doing. Now I didn't know that Jason Tatum was injured going into the game.
Yeah, he tore his Achilles.
Yeah, but they played well without him because it was a close game. But the star of the game, Tyrese Maxey. Listen, 40 points. He had 2 rebounds, 6 assists. Then you got VJ. VJ had 34 points. Now, Jaylen Brown is the one that's like, he's the number 2 guy.
Mm-hmm.
He only had 25. Now, I'm not saying there aren't nights where your primary stars don't get the buckets. It's always great to have a supporting cast. And in this case, Tyrese Maxey stepped up and just it was an impressive 40 points. Now, as far as Boston and Philly goes, Philly's another team that every year they have high expectations for Philly, but they don't always pan out. I think
trust the process.
Yeah, I mean, we've been trusting the process and they've been letting us down. So I ain't jumping on the Philly train just yet. However, I will admit that they do have a lot of pieces where they could go far in the East. And if we've been honest, the East is wide open now.
The East is definitely wide
open. They've gotten better. I mean, what do you think about that?
I'm gonna be honest with you. Well, here's what stands out to me. Mr. Trust the Process, Joel Embiid. The dude only had, you know what I'm saying? He didn't even show up. Over 4 from the 3-point. You know what I'm saying? Over 4 from the 3-point. 1 for 9 from the field.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's not normal. Like, that's not normal to me. And so that just tells me Maxey pretty much did it all by himself.
And I ain't gonna say that because, again, you still got, another player giving you 34 and Jaylen Brown giving you 25. Derek White giving you 25. So it was a good supporting cast, but Maxey had the lion's share. So I get your point. But what I will say is this. Because every year we always build up the hype train for Philly and they never deliver, I still like to give your some of your star players, Embiid being one of them. He has flashes in the season where he goes absolutely bananas. So I'm saying that it's the first game back. I don't know what you're dealing with or something. If he was ready, whatever the case is, not making no excuses. I don't know. None of us do. But what I'm saying is I don't expect him to make this his normal style of play throughout.
No, not at all. Not at all. Yeah. However, at the end of the day, because the NBA also has a preseason. So it's not necessarily the first game back. It's just the first official. You know what I'm saying?
And so you got to question yourself, how many of those did he play?
I mean, I'm just saying.
But that's my point. If you don't have the proper, just like in the NFL, we know they got 3 preseason games. How many of your starters actually play? And that rust does show in the game. The same with football, I believe. Because again, I don't know if Philly did play all their guys in preseason. I don't know. But what I'm saying is, for Embiid to look as normal as he did, I don't expect that to be his normal play. But sometimes you do got to play yourself to that sheet. Milwaukee and Washington. Now, this was a beatdown, bro. The score does not tell the story. They beat them 133 to 120. Giannis had 37 points, 14 rebounds, and 5 assists. Giannis, on the opposite end of the spectrum as Embiid, he looked like he in midseason form. And he was doing what he wanted. Now, to be fair, it is against Washington. Chris Middleton, his former teammate, nothing to sneeze at. CJ McCollum, nothing to sneeze at. Now, that's only 2 guys. And yes, Milwaukee does have a pretty solid team. But Giannis was just like, this is essentially my warm-up. That's how I watched that game from quarter 1 to quarter 4. There was no point in that game where Giannis looked like, I feel like I want to slow down now. There was no point in that game that he looked that way.
Respectfully, Washington don't have a big man either.
I feel that, but again, he was still getting some choice shots from the field as well. So, I mean, that's really no excuse.
That's true.
Like, at the end of the day, when a guy can have his way anywhere around the paint, because that's his game, I get that. So I get your point. Bro, somebody got to at least contest it. There was nobody to actually do it. So I absolutely wholeheartedly think that Giannis is going to be one of those guys that, like, just destroy shit throughout the year. Last but certainly not least, Warriors beat the Lakers 119 to 109. Luka led all scores with 43 points, 12 rebounds, 9 assists. To follow up on the Golden State side, Jimmy Butler had 31 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists. Now, that was a pretty good game against 2 premier teams. Anybody who knows me knows I'm a LeBron James fan. However, of course, LeBron didn't play in the first game, and Luka definitely showed that he can be the bell cow for the team. Even in a loss, like I said, 43 points is nothing to sneeze at. And I think that's going to be Luka's normal style of play. Luka definitely has the capacity to take over games as the season goes on. And we just had to see how the rest of the Lakers supporting cast actually provides support throughout the season. Because, again, a 41-year-old LeBron James, like, at the end of the day, you don't expect him to be – you absolutely expect him to be a second option behind Luka. Mm-hmm. But more so at this juncture of his career, he's the guy that's leading in the locker room, teaching them and showing them how to win. So, absolutely, we don't expect him to lead them in scoring as such. He may have a night or two where it's LeBron for 2010 and he go absolutely crazy and have no regards to him in life and score. That's going to happen because it's still LeBron. However, their lead dog clearly is Luka Doncic.
No, facts. No, I would actually watch that game. I actually watched that game quarter 1 and quarter 4, really, honestly, true. And honestly, Luka actually looks better than he did when he first got there. He actually looks great. You know what I'm saying? Like, Luka looks great to me. But, again, this is the Lakers versus the Warriors here. You know what I'm saying? Luka really, like, did it all by himself. Like, all by himself. Like, you got, come on now, Hachimura, 3 for 6 from the field.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? 3 for 6 from the field. DeAndre Ayton. You know what I'm saying? Another fella that they brought in. You know what I'm saying? 5 for 7 from the field.
For the record, I don't like him. I've never liked DeAndre. Just for the record. For fans or not, I just never liked him. But I digress, bro. I digress. I'll never like that guy.
But at the end of the day, my thing is this. Like, Luka literally did it all by himself. Like, Luka, 17 for 27, only missed 10 shots. But still, 17 for 27. Meanwhile, everybody else only have single-digit shots towards the bucket. You feel me? Like, Luka legit did everything from quarter 1 to quarter 4.
Now, full transparency, I didn't watch that game in its entirety. But what I will say is, systematically, a lot of guys were just deferring to Luka because he is your ball dominant guy. Generally is going to get the most shots and obviously make the most points in most cases. But I think, like, again, Luka definitely has that. He's that caliber player. There's no question. So I'm not questioning that. But I'm saying for the Lakers having such, I mean, it's respectfully. So no, don't bite my head off, Lakers fans. They have a pedestrian supporting cast. They don't have anybody that you're scared of. Literally, not named LeBron James or Luka Doncic. Everyone else is role players. So again, like most teams, when you can think of like the Golden States of the world, obviously their opponent, you know, you're not just saying we got Steph Curry. You know, you got a Jimmy Butler to defer. And if we're being honest, it's definitely Steph's team, no question about it. But Jimmy Butler's nothing to sneeze at as a second option. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think it's the same dynamic like in LA. And I was just using Golden State for an example because there's countless other teams that have a number 1 and number 2 guy, and you can clearly see who they are.
Right.
You know what I mean? But amongst those that 1 and 2 punch, you have a third option that you feel like at any given night, he could be the guy to jump in the mix and put us over the top.
Honorable mention, did y'all catch the games last night?
Yeah.
Did you
I
guys
caught
walk down, Sony?
Nah. I had to walk away. I had a bet, so I didn't want to look.
Nah, but like I said, like, even though I don't like the 2 games last night I watched, double overtime. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Steph Curry, like, literally, of course, you know what I'm saying? Hit the 3-pointer, boom, nailed in the coffin. Then walks down the court, like, it just literally looked like they just gave up.
But
and he just walked down the court and just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Easy 1-2. You know what I'm saying? But honestly, did y'all see Al Horford though? Yo, he looks good.
So
He looks good.
players like Al Horford never surprise me when they look good because, again, stays in shape literally year-round, like even in the offseason.
Bro, he doesn't look like he aged at all.
But again, that's still a credit to taking care of it.
That's
So again, that's the example I was giving earlier. When we talk about players like Joel Embiid, that's the expectation for Joel Embiid.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, as a big man, like, these aren't the days of Shaq. These aren't the days of Horace Grant. These aren't the days of Patrick Ewing. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, man.
you have a big expectation because, no disrespect to Shaq, Shaq was definitely an athletic specimen in the day. But what I'm saying is these guys are supposed to be more athletic. So again, there are exceptions to the rule, i.e. like a Joker. Joker, they always joke about him having a dad bod, but he gets up and down the court, no problem. He never seems to be tired. So, I mean, again, you have your exceptions to the rule. But again, what we see from Al Horford in terms of physically what he looks like and how he performs, that's what you also expect from Embiid, but we'll never seem to get that. But again, I digress, and I ain't going to hold you up talking about that joke. Edit. So, Ravens recap. Now, I can actually say this and do this with a smile on my face, y'all. As y'all see, Coach Jack is smiling, guys. Because last week, we actually didn't lose. We actually didn't get beat because we had a bye week. Guys, when I tell you something, R&R is one of the best things that could ever happen to any athlete, especially when you suck and you're 1-5. So, I'm going to bring it back down to a level 1. And we're going to talk candidly about my team because there's literally nothing to recap. And I actually feel good to say that, y'all.
Can I say something real quick?
What you got, bro?
I just want to say, y'all, and this goes with any sport, honestly, too. Well, mainly football because of the bye weeks. I just want to say, yeah, we say we didn't win. Yeah, we say we didn't lose. However, in the standings, in the division, I feel as though anytime you lose before your bye week is still a loss. Respectfully. I'm just saying.
That's subjective because I don't know if you noticed, we've been getting the paint kicked off of us. And then I had a conversation because I'm supposed to be calm, guys. Y'all notice Coach Jack is deliberately being calm.
Are you?
This is my zen. So, during the bye week within the division, 2 of our division rivals faced off. And good old Cool Joe is wearing a different uniform. And he beat the number 1 team in our division. And somebody's, a couple of somebodies said that was a bad move for him to go from Cleveland, because he was the day 1 starter in Cleveland. Let's put that out there.
Definitely stuff.
Somebody got on the podium and said they must be smarter than me to send him to a division rival, knowing that they're hurting in that position. That is one, Mr. Mike Tomlin.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Respectfully, the only reason that you had such a concern for Cool Joe being there is because now you got to see him 3 times with better weapons.
Yep.
That's the only reason why you mad. Now, full disclosure, that is also equally my concern, because we ain't even seen the Bengals yet.
We haven't seen the Bengals, but we did see Joe Flacco once already.
But that's my point. Now we got to see him 2 more times with better weapons. With our defense looking the way that it does,
No, sir.
immediate changes have to be made. I still can't tell you definitively how we're going to look. And this is me, as a Ravens fan, being totally honest about my team. Even with getting guys back healthy this week, and we're not going to put the cart before the horse because we do have Chicago coming up this Sunday. But what I'm saying is, down the stretch, with everybody seeming to try to get better, specifically in our division, Cincinnati, who everybody wrote off because Joe Burrow got hurt, I think we have to redefine our division. I'm not going to outright say that Pittsburgh is going to win it. They're leading the division right now, but we know how divisional games go.
However,
you play your division a whole lot tougher than you do everyone else in the league. So I'm not, and let me be clear so you guys can read my lips. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? I'm not in total writing the Baltimore Ravens off within the division. Stranger things have happened. Yes, we're banged up. I'm well aware of all of these things. But the NFL, the AFC North is the black and blue division, the absolute toughest division in football, and nobody gives an inch regardless of record.
At all.
So that's my part. I'm going to let Rook jump in here, but it's a lot I could say. That's just
it's definitely a lot. But at the end of the day, me personally, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't like it at all.
What part don't you like?
I don't like it not one bit.
What part don't you like?
Joe Flacco going to Cincinnati. But it does tell me one thing, though. It does tell me one thing. Even though they said that they just needed to survive the first half of the season, I really feel like Joe Burrow's out for the season. Me personally, that's just my take on it. Because my man, you go get an elite quarterback, veteran at that you know what I'm saying, that knows the AFC North. You know what I'm saying? He knows how to.
Dangerous.
You know what I'm saying? That's what makes it dangerous. Then you got Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. You know what I'm saying? Then you got come on now, bro. It's the Bengals, dog. It's the Bengals, because I'm gonna be honest with you, they wasn't catching the ball for homeboy. They wasn't catching the ball for Jake Brown.
Jake Brown couldn't even deliver the ball.
He couldn't deliver the ball. However, at the end of the day, if you look, Joe Flacco had more time than Jake Brown. What's his name did? Than Jake did.
Jake Brown is not like the know-how in terms of how to elude the pocket if you need to, extend the play, all those nuances that it takes to play quarterback. I don't think Jake Brown has these. Now, full disclosure, I don't know any history on Jake Brown. What I do know is he sucked dog ass for
that's a fact. Yeah.
So my thing is bringing a veteran in like Joe Flacco. Joe did exactly what you thought he was going to do and what he was supposed to do as a veteran. Again, not just now. Let me be clear, because you brought up a valid point. Not just an NFL veteran. You're familiar with the division. Facing all those teams and knowing what they normally give defensively and to know how to pick them apart or how to, finagle your way into this. Bro, Jamar Chase had, was it 22 receptions?
Impeccable game.
22 or 23 receptions?
Bro,
crazy.
Oh my goodness.
So you know where the ball is going? Nobody stops him?
He made Jalen Ramsey look like a Pop Warner cornerback, yo.
Now, hold up, because I'm going to say this about Jalen. I like Jalen. I think Jalen is one of our top.
Oh, he's a dog.
But my thing is this. Some guys just got his number. And we're not going to one for sure.
Jamar Chase is definitely one of them.
So again, I'm not going to sit here and throw stones at Jalen Ramsey. What I'm saying is this. That was an elite versus an elite. But when we talk about who is better, and this may be subjective because somebody may disagree with me, but when I look at who's at the cream of the crop at their respective position, Jamar Chase is a better receiver now than Jalen Ramsey is a corner now. Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense.
Now, again, It's definitely subjective. That's what I believe. But I know I'm so not alone in that take. I know I'm so not alone in that take.
At all.
And I'm not, and be clear, I'm not just basing it off that game.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm actually scared to see the Bengals down. I ain't gonna jump. Listen, Jair, he's have yet to show me what he could do. All I've seen him do was get cooked.
You're preaching to the choir, but it's not. I'm not afraid to see the Bengals for the reason that you're saying. We don't clearly we don't know that we better. But the fact is, it's Joe with the big arm with receivers that can stretch the big field. That's number one on those circles on the top of the list. That's my only concern. The defense is, because that's the thing. What's the point of being afraid when you know it's going to be what it's going to be?
No, that's a fact. But at the end of the day, like I said, I don't like. Okay, with Jake back there, okay, I'm like, all right, we have a shot. Like we got a shot. But now you got Joe Flacco. Granted, we already seen him one time with Cleveland Browns, and we got to him. But our defense has changed since then. You know what I'm saying? We don't have an edge rush. We don't have an edge rush now. You know what I'm saying? We got Matabike's gone.
So again, preaching to the choir.
Like,
you fat with things we already.
Like, yo, I'm just saying, like, at the end of the day,
I'll do it for you. Guys, we believe that we're gonna lose that game. That's basically what he's saying. So, moving on, the last part, and this is gonna hurt me to say, we got the Bears. I'm gonna let you start. What you think the condition is? You give me a score.
I ain't gonna lie, the Bears look good, y'all. The Bears look good.
Max, solid.
They look. I said they look good. They look good. Okay. You saying solid? They look good. Okay.
That's
now again. You know what I'm saying? Like all I know is Caleb. Yo, easy. I don't know what. I don't know what. Like he just, bro. He's actually.
All right, go give me a score. Just spit it out. Ain't no need to hold it back. I talk about our team every week. Spit it out.
I'm going to give it 38-24, man.
38-24? I'm not even mad at that score because at least you really give us a fighting chance in there. Now, I will say this. With our offense, we're still unclear if Lamar is going to play. I would say with Lamar, I wholeheartedly believe that 24 points. I wholeheartedly believe 24 points with Lamar. With Cooper Rush?
18.
I'm not even going to say 18.
Are you serious?
I'm being very serious right now. Our offense is so inconsistent under him because the entire dynamic of the offense changes when he's in there.
Well, the tempo does change as well. Yes.
Now, with Huntley in, I still kind of believe the 24, if that makes sense. Because, again, he gives you a threat of movement.
Yes.
Your quarterback is not going to stay still. But the Bears defense is like middle of the pack right now. I don't know what their ranking is. I don't have that in front of me right now. But my overall prediction, I would say originally, and again, for the sake of not continuing to jump around and move the goalposts, because Lord knows it's not what I'm trying to do. It does matter who plays for you in terms of what you get performance-wise offensively against the Bears, who is a solid team in the middle of the pack in defense. We can't give them anything defensively, and that's why I'm worried. So I do believe they can go out and at least sustain long drives. Now, the only thing that counts for us is they got to come into the bank. But everybody that came into the bank and put their feet on the coffee table this year.
That's a fact.
So I would say
even the Texas.
A fair score. What I would say, I'm gonna say Ravens 14. I would say 2 scores, and that's just because again the Bears defense is middle of the pack, and I do trust Derrick Henry now. I think Derrick Henry's got the fire in his eyes because at this point he is our only option, and that's unfortunate to say because nobody can seem to get Zay the ball. Nobody can seem to get D-Hop the ball. It's like it's just crazy, and I don't want to keep beating the dead horse, but I'm going to just say Ravens, realistically, 14 points. I'm not even going to give a Bears score because I predict them to win. God, that hurt me to say that out loud. I predict them to win.
Not the Bears.
Bro, my soul,
Bears, dog. The Bears.
It hurt me to say that.
The Bears, dog.
Hey, at the end of the day, right now we 1-5.
You gotta keep it in perspective. And the sad part about it is, hold on now. The sad part about it is, bro, they 4-2. The Bears is
better than 1-5, man.
Hold up. And they're 2-1 on the road.
Better than 1-5, man.
Bro.
I rest
Hey,
moving on, because this got to give me a headache. I love my team, but God, man, we just look bad this year. And I pray that R&R did our team some good. So said best of luck to them and let's just wish for the best on Sunday.
Absolutely.
Okay. this news story, just breaking this week, sports betting. Now, funny thing, how this ended up on my list of things to talk about. Several commercials I was watching college football actually, and again, you can bet on everything. My Miami Hurricanes.
We're not gonna talk about that.
No, it's got to be said.
No, we got.
I was watching the Miami Hurricanes versus Louisville, and I counted 3 times during. Now, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, so please nobody misconstrue what I'm saying. I counted 4 times in that game. We were favored to win that game. We lost that game. During that game, 4 times in the span of one commercial break, there were different sports betting acts, commercials that came on, which led me to think, like, I didn't want to say it out loud because it's my team and I'm not trying to make a crutch for them, but there were some things that were kind of questionable. We ain't getting into that because that's not the topic. The subject matter is sports betting.
Mm-hmm.
Sports betting. Now, here's the funny thing. That was last Friday.
Yes.
Fast forward to this past Thursday.
Yesterday.
No. Before.
Okay.
This past Thursday during Steelers a Bengals game.
Gotcha.
Again, during that broadcast, several sports betting commercials. I mean, you name them. MGM, FanDuel. It's another. What's the one that Kevin Hart endorses? I cannot think of which one that is.
Sports Kings.
Yeah, DraftKings. Yeah.
DraftKings.
You see them all. So again, I'm like, this is definitely a thing now. Now, it's not new to us because it's been around for a couple of seasons now. But here's the thing. No sooner than that happens, fast forward to this very week. I wrote it on the paper as something that could be talked about, but it wasn't an actual topic until this happened. The other day, Chauncey Billups and Terry Rozier were arrested in a illegal gambling ring, and there were mentions of something with the mafia. I don't have all the specifics. I'm just going off of what ESPN, when I was listening to on the ESPN radio, and then what I later seen on social media and such. There were other mentions of ties to the mafia, illegal bank rolling, and something about shaving points. Those terms specifically were used within those news stories. Now, here's my thing. Back in the day, before it was like a big thing, everybody knows the story of Pete Rose in baseball, how they were saying he was point shaving and all this other stuff, to make money. Fast forward to the NBA, you got the guy. What was the referee's name? I think it was Tim Donaghy or Donnie. I don't know if I'm saying his name wrong, but he got caught, making calls to go against different teams. More notable game is the Los Angeles Kings. The Sacramento Kings versus the LA Lakers.
I remember that.
You know what I mean? That's one of the games of notoriety that he called that people feel like there were some calls that was questionable and such and such. And of course, some people palms definitely got agrees amongst, whatever. Again, we don't know all the specifics. We know what the public record story is. Now, fast forward to this. We still don't know all the specifics about this. However, what we do know is sports betting is a real thing. And my biggest thing is when you have insiders involving themselves in it, that is the part that gives it the sport a black eye, because you have guys like a Chauncey Billups and like a Terry Rozier. Chauncey Billups being a coach, Terry Rozier being an active player. I think definitely that sports betting shouldn't be a thing. Now, me personally, from just a normal standpoint, I don't gamble at all. That's just for my moral compass. I'm not condemning anyone who does.
Yeah.
But what I am saying is when you have sports insiders that try to take advantage and cheat the system and stuff like that, people like myself, as not just a sports insider, but a sports fan, we pay your salaries. We buy those jerseys. We pay for those tickets to attend those events. All those things that you do to try to take from the game for your own selfish benefit, I do think those things are wrong. Now, again, with all due respect to those persons named, Chauncey Billups and Terry Rozier, I'm not saying anything directly disrespectful to them.
Great basketball players, by the way.
But we don't know for sure if these guys actually did it or what their full involvement was. But my thing is this. I refuse to believe with sports betting being legal now, and if anybody feels like they can find a loophole, nobody can tell you how to get your bread. Dave Chappelle made this quote, and I wholeheartedly agree with him. Never get in between a man and his meal. He was referring to money. He was talking about an OG that told him that back in the day with a lesson that he learned, yada, yada, yada. What that means to me in the case of them, it is greed. Nonetheless, I'm going to call it what it is. I do think that is wrong. Because, again, you said it off air before, Cam, we were just talking about the stories we're going to talk about. Like, you guys are millionaires. Y'all got the bread. You feel me? So why is this necessary? Tony, jump in there, man. Tell me what you think about this.
Well, I think they need to let the heads roll. I need everybody to start calling names. They need to start looking like houses are being cleaned out because this is what's needed for the NBA because for one, sports in general, but right now NBA is going to be the scapegoat. They're going to take the fall because NFL don't want to be involved in this
at all.
Soccer, everybody know baseball definitely don't want to be involved in this.
But story, and not to cut you off, I'm going to throw this tidbit in there because you mentioned the NFL. Last season or season before last, Calvin Ridley, the wide receiver for the Tennessee Titans,
he got
caught and got suspended half the season for sports betting. So again, I think it affects all sports leagues in some way, form, or fashion. It just hasn't caught up to those guys. But you're absolutely right. I don't think everybody wants to be caught up.
I'm gonna be honest with you. It's gonna roll back, and for some of y'all don't know, like there is a documentary on Netflix about the sports betting, like the referees point shaving, you know what I'm saying, some of the games and all that other stuff, calling certain fouls just to, you know what I'm saying, oh, we need this person to foul out because they had such and such, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There is, like, all that is going to play back. So just, you know what I'm saying, just be on the lookout, like, keep close, paying attention to the story. I'm trying to tell you, it's definitely going to play back.
I'm sorry, Tony, continue your point. I'm sorry.
No, I was saying, let the heads roll because in the NBA, it's one of those sports where it's a player-ran type of league. And I'm pretty sure these owners want control back, and they're going to put the fall on the players. No, it's the players commission, it's the players. They're going to put it all on the players. Like we as the owner, we don't have any involvement with sports betting. They're going to enforce stricter rules with the players. If NBA got to take a hit, they're going to take a hit. That means salary caps are going to be different now, that the shady business with the contract, like what went down with Kawhi and the Clippers. So it's a big story, and I hope they keep it going because, for one, with all that happening, it means the game get to be played correctly. No more, you stopping at this point. No more. What they call chains on people, cut the ropes, cut the chains, let the sport be the sport. Like, come on.
I think the pot has gotten too big and is way too lucrative outside of what we know that these players make. Because again, the guys are making money on the back end with endorsements and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And also for the owners, I don't think this is necessary. Like, so most owners, one thing I know about billionaires, they don't like being told what the fuck to do.
Mm-hmm.
So the biggest thing that I do know is any way that they can make money hand over fist, and if you don't believe me, they're literally changing the names of arenas with these big corporate sponsors because everybody in bed together getting this money. So you go from Staples Center to what is it called now? I don't know, some whatever crypto center or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
All these people, everybody stands to make money that's involved. So the owners feel like this: if the players is doing this, what do I really care? Because I can just fire him and get another one of him, depending upon what it is.
And what about DraftKings? Are they going to get a team in the future because they got the logos overlay on the game. They got the commercials. They got everything.
That's the sponsorship dollars. You talking about the virtual thing on the basketball field? Yeah, that's the sponsorship dollars.
But what if they got enough money to buy a team? Can they buy a team?
Now that I don't think that would be conflict of interest because again, it's sports betting and you actually own a team. So again, that's technically that would be the same thing that they tell you not to bet on your own team.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
But we can invest as much money
into the sport,
into the sports, and you could come to our parties. But we just not gonna own the team.
The sad part about it is that's gonna be a complete total conflict. It just draws a red flag, honestly, truly, if you ask me. Like I really just feel like it's just.
I guarantee you, if somebody pitched that idea, owners would shit a chicken.
Oh yeah,
try that.
Absolutely.
You're already making money hand over fist for how many people. Now again, regardless of what happens behind the scenes, like I said, they did mention the mafia. We always talk about Vegas. We know, but they always mention Vegas and these games being fixed. How many sporting events have we watched? NBA playoffs, any regular NBA basketball game that count for some NFL games, but they're like, oh, they cheat for this, or this card didn't make sense. Bro, this season alone, how many times have we caught the refs cheating? I'm not trying to speak to a larger point, but what I'm saying is this. Everybody we know, because it's football season, bets on football. How many times in different angles do they have to show of the refs blatantly cheating or making crazy calls for Kansas City? That's just me making an example. But we're not going to act like this is not a real thing, and this hasn't been going on for like the last, 3 or 4 seasons? So again, with sports betting, I don't think that this is coincidental. It's certainly not far-fetched to think that it's true based upon other things that we have seen. So again, that's my take on it. And I do think that sports betting is horrible for the sport. Again, when you ask players who have to make their livelihood, so what about the guys that are doing it the right way? That don't get the same contract as, say, the Steph Currys of the world, or LeBrons of the world, or whomever your favorite player is. You see what I'm saying? So this guy gets the big contract. And on top of that, you got my homies. Hey, look, this night, we playing against San Antonio. I'm going to do blah, blah, blah. I refuse to be naive to think that these conversations don't happen.
And how far
definitely happens.
Sorry.
No, yeah.
How far does it go? Like if I'm a player in the NBA, does it mean my immediate family, like my brothers, my mother and father, can't be a part of any sports betting books or any sports book? Is my cousin not allowed to get a sports book? What about my grandmother?
You're asking the questions that we all want to know. Nobody's going to be clear on these rules because everybody's making money. So my thing is this. We're not going to answer until you ask us 1,000 times. And you probably still won't get a straight answer. So again, I think it's just strictly on the players for now because those are the ones that are getting the repercussions behind it. Now, it does prove an obvious conflict of interest. If I know you guys personally and I got a game tomorrow and you tell me directly, bro, I bet on say we hypothetically we play in New York, bro, I bet on New York to do such and such and so and so. Knowing it's something that I can directly affect, it's definitely going to raise a red flag like, them jokers work together. He know him. That's his friend. You don't think people want to ask those type of questions? So it's accurate what you're saying, but whoever's in charge of that, the media, whoever has to give those answers, they're never going to give us a straight answer. Because quiet as kept, they don't actually know. I think the players wholeheartedly know. They know that they're not supposed to, and they know who's not supposed to do it. So again, Calvin Ridley, I think, again, I'm not sure all the specifics, but if my memory serves correct, I did hear somebody say it was because he wasn't actually doing it. Somebody that he knows. So again, to your very point, we don't know how deep this thing can go, who can and who can't on your behalf or whatever, if it's on your behalf or not. Like, it's so much confusion when it comes down to that. So all in all, I personally think sports betting is horrible for the sport. Like Tony just said, let the sport be the sport. Let guys get back to true, authentic competition in their respective sports without trying to get a financial gain. Like, bro, I'm so tired of seeing people look at their phones in anger because this player didn't get the amount of points. God damn it, Joel Embiid. Bro, I really see that. That's a real thing. That's a real thing. Hey, not being funny, did you just say something about Philly?
They're guilty.
It's like, come on, bro. We look at our phones and discuss.
The fact.
Bro, I've never seen anybody watch their phone or tablet or whatever your device of choice. You're not watching the game. You're not watching highlights.
You're watching the play.
Now, on that same point, this is what I find funny. Now, this is what I am guilty of. Fantasy football. They do have certain leagues where you bet the over-unders and all that kind of stuff, so I get that part. It's still money to be made. I just do a regular ESPN joint, right? Mark Schlereth. Shouts out to Mark Schlereth. I watch his content. He's really dope. He said something that really, really made me think. He was like, sports betting, fantasy football, his words, not mine. I hate all that shit. Then he proceeded to explain why. The reason why he doesn't like fantasy football and sports betting is it forces you literally, in some cases, to root against your own team. I had no idea, never thought about the fact of how crazy that is. Because, for example, on my I can make fun of myself and joke about it. Yeah. On my fantasy team, it's Josh Allen is my starting quarterback. Yeah. Who do we play week 1? Week 1, who's my starting defense? The Baltimore Ravens defense. I was confused in the mud, fellas. I was on an emotional roller coaster. Bro, come on, Jason. I got Shakir starting as a receiver. I got Mark Andrews as my tight end. I think I said this a few episodes ago. I was just talking about fantasy football. But to Mark Schlereth's point and to my larger point, these things that are not actually watching the sport, you're watching for a result for you to win something. So you're still being competitive, but just in a different way. But it has you so, bro, I'm rooting for Josh Allen to throw a freaking touchdown. To quote my man Fox, shouts out to Fox, diabolical, like, bro, that was me. So I definitely get his point when it comes down to sports betting and other things involving outside of the sport. I get it as a fun extracurricular, but specifically when money is involved, I think that really takes it down. I do understand the smaller part of the fantasy part. I get what he was saying. But as far as the sports betting, both of y'all are right. This is definitely going to roll downhill. And what I will say is this, as a real sports fan, I hope and pray that when they have all those different ads about sports betting, people do have gambling addictions. And I'm not trying to be preachy in this point, but I definitely want to make this point very clear. You have some people betting with their rent money. You got some people betting with money that they truly don't have, because some people truly have a problem. They feel like this is going to be the week that I win. And when they bring up stuff like Vegas and how certain things are fixed, you got people giving up their livelihoods and their money for a bet that they thought was a surefire win, to show you that these things, nothing in these things are guaranteed. Gambling in itself, we know there's no guarantee in it. But specifically with this, with things that can be fixed or altered, knowing that you have this information now, is it still a wise thing to keep sports betting, knowing that the insiders can change the outcome of a game? That's the point that I'm trying to make. So if you're one of those people, please do not chase your losses. If you're going to do that, gamble responsibly, like they always say. This is not me making any endorsement. I'm just keeping it real with you, because I would hate for you to be that person that's gambling away your rent money, your grocery money, or whatever. You know what I mean? Be responsible with your money, because people are definitely doing it. And with the way the stuff looking up, it's just not a wise move. It's definitely not a wise move. So, proceeding forward, calm yourself, Jack, because this part says you promised you wouldn't get mad on. We're going to circle the wagons. We was talking about coaches, and y'all know who name is on this list before we even get to it. Yeah? So, on the week before, we mentioned certain coaches. And with the Ravens going into a bye week, they were talking about other coaches that were on the hot seat.
Yes.
Now, over that break, the Tennessee Titans fired Bill Callahan, and Mike McCoy took over as interim head coach. I don't know too much about Mike McCoy. What I do know is he's a better coach, clearly, because they chose him. He has more the experience to be the interim head coach now that Bill Callahan is gone. Tennessee was doing very bad. They had the number 1 overall pick in Cam Wood. Go Canes. Here's my thing.
He's balling out, by the way.
Listen, on a bad team.
On a bad team.
On a bad team.
Balling.
Now, to the point, when you have a coach that is not trying to make any immediate move to cultivate what you have in a number 1 pick in Cam Ward, that becomes a problem. Not to mention, you're squandering possessions in games offensively, like you're just totally, as they say, shitting the bed, right? And they fired him. I think that was a great move. To give you an example, I got another fellow Hurricane fan in the studio with me, and we talked about this. The connection between Cam Ward and Xavier Restrepo in college was A1. Do you know in the later rounds who the Tennessee Titans picked as a receiver? Xavier Restrepo. If they have a chemistry and your team is already not doing good, how about giving your rookie quarterback, since you're not really giving them an offensive line, how about giving them a security blanket?
Right.
They didn't even start doing that until when? Mike McCoy was like, bro, didn't you play with this guy in college? Let's make him a part of the rotation. That's what you call good coaching. That's just heads-up coaching. Because nobody expects the Tennessee Titans to go anywhere this year. So that's a wise move. Now, he's not the only one. So, Mike McDaniel, coach of the Dolphins, not a Dolphins fan, but he's in question. I will say that I give Mike McDaniels a little more leeway as a coach, because Tua hasn't done diddly squat as of late either. However, I do know that Mike McDaniels is an offensive-minded coach. To be fair, he's not doing the best job, but the only reason I'm standing for this, and I know Fox would disagree with me on this because he feels like outright that he's trash. But players have to get on the field and make plays. You are chained to the players that you have. And if you can't get anything scheme-wise that they can do to perfection, not even one thing, is that on the coach or is that on the players? I always err on the side because players have to make plays, and I never make excuses for players. Being a former player, there were times where I just made a bonehead play. And guess what? I had to look in the mirror and can see that. Me. Not my coach.
Accountability.
Yeah, and that now, we're going to get to that in a minute, because that's another part that's just missing amongst all these guys and about the name. Now, the other part is this. Because Tua been staking up the joint, and we knew this, the other part is there have been other coaches that have been fired for having a bad team, right? And I feel like it's unjust.
It is unjust.
Because you have a lot of coaches that go to a team that was already doomed when they got there.
Yep.
And they were expected to make miracles. They turned water into wine.
Yep.
So case in point, anybody, now, specifically with Mike McDaniels, and because this goes to my point, anybody remember the last time they was good? Who was their coach? He's an assistant coach on somebody else's roster right now. Brian Flores is a defensive coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings. They fired the wrong guy.
They definitely fired.
Under his tenure, they was actually winning. But because he wouldn't tank so they can get a better draft pick, this is all noise.
No, this is fact.
Because he didn't take and lose out of games. No, I'm a winner. That's what I mean. A coach that gets fired unjustly. Now, they was actually winning. They finished out that season under Brian Flores winning. There was a team that finished, I think, were they at 500 or just above? It was above 500.
It was above.
They finished above 500, and they fired him, and they hired this guy. Now, I'm going to say this. Some of those guys were still on that team, i.e. Tua Tagovailoa was still on that team.
Yep.
I wasn't there. I wasn't there for the conversation, but I do know that Brian Flores, accountability, and that's why I said this was going to come up in a minute. He was holding Tua accountable. You need to step your game up as a quarterback. And they fired that guy for holding him accountable. We're seeing that. It's nothing but a merry-go-round of bad coaches. Kevin Stefanski, he needs to be fired. Now, before anybody want to jump down my throat about Shedeur, I'm not even talking about anything dealing with Shedeur.
Nope.
He's mismanaging with the offense that he got right now with Dylan Gabriel.
That's a fact.
Furthermore, if the guy was good enough for you to start week one, now again, I know I was joking Mike Tomlin earlier for saying that, but that's a real thing.
Yeah.
It is a real thing.
If he was good enough for me to start as a week one starter, now I'm going to put all my eggs in the rookie, who's playing very pedestrian, by the way. He's playing very pedestrian, by the way. So, again.
Shout out to the coach at the Giants, too, man.
I'd have kept Flacco with that team the entire way.
Here's my thing. Simply just so this guy can develop. For no other purpose than that. I'm not saying Flacco can go out and win you a Super Bowl. That's not what I'm saying. His window is definitely closed. But being a wily vet and just knowing where to be, knowing what to do, knowing how to operate, what's the contingency plan here. If this don't work, I'm immediately go to this. He knows all these things. Dylan Gabriel don't. You don't believe me. This was his stat line making him a starter. 29 to 52, 221 yards, 0 touchdowns. While he didn't throw any picks,
sack.
He did get sacked. But my thing is this. For you to have that, now, me reading you the stat line does nothing versus seeing the spots on the field. He was dunking and danking it, accumulated 221 yards. Do you know how easy that is? So,
yeah,
a little football history. Told you, diehard Ravens fan back in the day. Ever heard of a little-known guy named Trent Dilfer?
Yep.
Ever heard of a little-known guy named Elvis Gerback?
Yep.
Listen, them dudes spent their careers. Now, I will give Trent Dilfer a little credit. He got a ring out of it because his job was to not totally shit the bed. Because you got a defense that says, if you go out and score 7 points, we'll win you the game.
Here's the sad part. Look at who he had, though.
Well, offensively?
Offensively, look at who he had. Jermaine Lewis.
I get it, but listen, the only shining star on our offense, and the reason why our offense was so good was Jamal Lewis. Exactly, was Jamal Lewis. We had a power running game that if you try to stop us, you can bring your 8, your 9-man front, and we're gonna run right through your face.
No, that's a fact.
But my larger point is the quarterback that we had understood that. So Trent Dilfer simply had to say, you know what?
Even Testaverde.
Jermaine Lewis. But Testaverde was different because we was losing games. This one we had an offense before the defense actually became what it was when we first started. Yeah. Testaverde was winning games by put up 40 points, and then the other team would put up 41 or 42. So this is when we kind of worked backwards until our identity came to be what it was. So in 1996, when we had Vinny, go Canes, when we had Vinny did his job.
Mm-hmm.
So again, now I would say this. I would say that was a little more than the game manager. However, we still did lose games in our opening season. And that's not to compare Vinny and Trent. I was making the point about being what a game manager is supposed to do.
Oh, yeah. No,
Dylan Gabriel is right now, at this point, because he doesn't know anything. I'm not saying that he doesn't have the potential to get there. But what I'm saying is, under Kevin Stefanski, that boy is not going to experience no growth. Now, the reason why I said don't jump on me about the Shedeur thing is because Shedeur will be subjected to the same things if he started right now.
That's a fact. But me personally, I feel like if they play Shedeur,
he would do more.
He would do more. 2, he changes the tempo of the offense. 3,
not too much,
but he changes the tempo of the offense though. Just changing the tempo of the offense. Come on now, let's go back to X's and O's.
I know that, but his thing, you gotta realize most of their starters are rookies. That's why I said
that's a fact. No. But again, you got to look at the reaction. You got to look at they're not gonna play.
That's my point. My larger point. I think you overstate. As a veteran defense, I ain't scared of no rookies. They don't know enough to beat me.
I'm gonna give you a Madden stat. They would give him like an innovator type of QB. as far as what he.
Yeah, that's what Rook was just saying. Yeah,
yeah. That's it.
And I agree. No, you say that.
Both right. Yup.
Yeah,
Right.
I definitely agree with you on that point, and I ain't gonna make I agree with you on that point. But what I'm saying is this: Judkins, the rookie running back, one of their receivers is a rookie. The only veteran you got today is what? Jerry Jeudy, right?
They got way too many quarterbacks.
Say it again.
They got too many quarterbacks.
Oh no, they trimmed it.
No, they trimmed it down.
Remember, Huntley played for us now. The one that played for the Steelers, why am I forgetting his name? He's not important, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking
Yeah, that backup quarterback, Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett's gone. The only one they have is Dylan Gabriel. And Shador. No, it's a third one now. It's three. It's three, and I can't remember what the third one is. They picked up somebody else. They made mention of somebody else. But again, I ain't worried about none of them. Not even Shador. What I'm saying is this: Shador deserves to be. Shador got a better draft grade than him. He's legitimately the better quarterback and has the most upside. Again,
he can slow the game down for himself.
To some, that may be subjective, and I'm fine with that. But what I'm saying is this: Kevin Stefanski handpicked Dylan Gabriel, and that's what we're witnessing. So at the end of the day, no, your number one mission is not to try to win as many games and put your best foot forward for your team. Clearly, that is the mark of bad coaching. That is the number one point that I've said. We've said all of this to make that point. You're not a good coach if you're not putting your best foot forward in terms of who makes more sense for your offense. Certainly throwing the ball 52 times, you got 29 completions, but you only amassed 221?
Can we get an honorable mention?
Throwing the ball that many times, it was that's that.
Because you don't have a choice. That's why you don't have a choice.
That seemed pretty forced.
I somewhat have to disagree with that, honestly, especially when you got a number one draft pick in your running back. You know what I'm saying? Like, when is he going to give a shot? When you going to give him a shot? He scored.
He's starting now. You forget that running back in front of him was injured.
No, I get that. I understand that. But at the end of the day, my thing is, you throwing the ball 50-something times, 50-plus times. That's crazy work. And the percentage of that is less than half.
Right. It's like he's tried to prove something, and it didn't get proved.
Like, this ain't Oregon Duck game.
That's my point. That is bad coaching. That's why I said that is horrible coaching. You're mismanaging your roster.
Jet.
Yes.
Your favorite player. How many yards do you think he'd get if he threw the ball 52 times?
My favorite player?
Manning.
If he threw the ball 52 times, it's definitely a blowout happening. Let us be clear about that.
How many yards you said, like,
no, for Manning, I'm going to say 350, 400 easy. If he threw the ball that many, I'm lying. I'm getting. I'm going to say mid-fours, mid-30.
Yeah. You know, because 500 times is 52 times as a quarterback throwing the ball. Them yards got to show something.
But here's the thing. To be fair, this is still a rookie that we're talking about. But a rookie that played 6 years in college football. That's the other part that you don't tell about the story, but I digress.
He did.
He played 6 years in college football.
Yep.
And it took you a minute to try to develop, and you were still underdeveloped. A guy that played his legit 4 and masters the game at 2 programs. Again, higher draft grade. I'm stating the obvious. I'm not even going to go back around that circle. The other coaches that suck, because we definitely know Stefanski needs to be fired. In college, James Franklin from Penn State got fired.
Oh, yeah.
You can't seem to get over the hump with good teams. You play teams, i.e. Oregon. Ironically, that was no pun intended. We were just talking about Oregon because that's where Dylan Gabriel came from. But you couldn't beat Oregon. You couldn't put them away. Or any other ranked team for that matter.
They lose to an unranked team.
So, again, bad coaching. Again, I got to mention Fox again because he is a Penn State fan. And we've talked about this at length.
Oh, my Penn State brother. Okay.
Yeah, he mentioned the fact that he was like, now, I don't know if he said that the coach needed to go. So I don't want to misquote him on that. But I do know he was disgusted at their performance against top-ranked teams. So, again, I always say bad coaching and why I got to say it now because I'm getting to that part. I was defending Zach Taylor because first of all, let me throw this jab at Fox. On Fox's podcast, and we get a chance to watch the TNSL in sports, he gave his synopsis on who he think coaches are that are bad that need to be fired. Now, we talked about this jokingly at length on the phone, and it damn near turned into an argument, and this joker, no, I ain't lying. We argue because he feels like Zach Taylor is trash due to the fact that Joe Burrow keeps getting hurt. And I said to him what I just said a few minutes ago about Mike McDaniel's case. Mike McDaniels is a guy that's on the hot seat. I believe he needs to be there, but that's because he's not holding them accountable. I think he's a good coach, but he ain't holding nobody accountable, and Tua just as bad, so we really can't pinpoint whose fault it is. Definitively, In Cincinnati, that's a whole different story. Now, in Fox's defense, because I did watch that episode, and he went off on Zach Taylor and said he needed to be fired. He was like trash. Like, he was so animated when he said this point. In his defense, I believe that Fox made this take before Pittsburgh lost to Cincinnati. Now, getting a quarterback like Joe Flacco, when we mentioned earlier about him being a good thrower of the deep ball and having the weapons that he has, his job is simply made easy. Not to mention how much more he knows than Jake Browning. We also mentioned that. But again, Zach Taylor understanding that this is the cards that I'm dealt with the personnel that I'm dealt. I can't blame, nobody can blame a coach for injuries because you don't control that. Nobody can blame a coach. The only thing we can blame a coach for is horrible schematics and not being able to take it over. Now, here's the part where I'm going to get a little bit mad because Harbaugh name enters the chat.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying this, argue with your mama. He need to go. He got to go because he calls no systems on our team. At the very least, you know who calls systems on that team? Zach Taylor. Zach Taylor can definitely call an offense. I don't know who the offensive coordinator is for Cincinnati, but I do know Zach Taylor has an offensive coordinator background. So he can call a system on their team to at least help them stay afloat. And as you use the terminology specifically, survive, because that's what they have to do until Burrow gets back if he's not out for the season. Harbaugh would never. And that's specifically our problem now, because now the ship is on fire. Everybody's panicking. What do we normally say about captains of a ship? We're going to go down with the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody ever seen a movie called Titanic? The captain was like, yo, I'm going down with my ship, but I'm going to fix some shit. Is whatever I can save, whoever I can save, I'm going to make sure y'all get the safety, but this is my ship, and I'm going to control it. Harbaugh, for some reason, everybody else panicking. You know who else was panicking? The captain of the ship. Harbaugh, panicking. You don't believe me? Every time the Ravens go to commercial, when we get our asses monkey stomp, this is John Harbaugh for 3 seconds. Oh, my God. That's him for 3 seconds.
Look at that.
Every time we go to commercial break, you want to know what I do? Walk the fuck away from the TV. That's the best thing you can do. That's the best thing you can do. He needs to go. And yes, I'm saying this as a Ravens fan. There are too many things, too many inconsistencies with Harbaugh. Guys, I know I'm talking. I told you I was going to get mad. Somebody take the mic from me. Somebody take the mic from me. This is crazy, bro. No, for real. Chime in there, Rook.
Hey, man, look, I just want to give an honorable mention real quick one time. Now, we all know the 1-5 teams. However, there is a 0-7 team, the Jets.
They got a better coach than we got.
But my thing is, you're 0-7.
They ain't know him. Okay. Who they got in the cover? Name me what they got.
Now, listen, I got you. I understand that. However, you're 0-7 with Justin Fields. On top of, you got Tyrod Taylor, who is actually David Day now, because he was supposed to start on Sunday, but now he's David Day. But Tyrod Taylor might not start. May not start Sunday.
So who's that third string guy?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I can't answer that question.
Yeah, but it's thing. You gave them as an honorable mention. So I just want to be clear on this. Are you saying that the coach should be fired?
You're 0-7. You got, like, come on now. Like, so you got teams that are 1-5, 1-6, but you're 0, and they're firing coaches, but you're 0-7. You're not getting fired, so that's not an honorable mention.
That's the team he took on that team. That ain't got nothing to do with him.
It ain't got nothing to do with him, but you got to turn it over. If you don't turn it over, then what?
This is first season. You do know that, right?
I do know that's his first season.
So,
however, something's not right.
How do you know it's him? He just got there. That's the point. All right, so I'm gonna make this point publicly, and this is a very good teachable moment for me and my brother to encounter this together, because I know this joker finna argue you. Listen, when it comes to coaching, when you get in the seat, so anybody remember what it's like to go into a new place, like when you go into a hotel room? I know everybody that took a trip to somewhere and you go into a hotel room.
Yeah.
The room looks a certain way when you go in there, right?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
It's pristine. The beds got the sharp corners. They got the nice little soap and peppermints for you. The little coffee maker. Hey, welcome to the whatever hotel you stay at. The room looks a certain way. When you put your card on file to get this lovely room, what's one of the fees that they take out? Incidentals, correct?
Incidental.
This means if something should happen to be damaged, when you get there, the little pamphlet they give you when they welcome you, in a little fine print. Do you ever read that fine print?
Yeah.
It tells you to immediately notify the front desk if something is out of order with that room upon your arrival. Jack, why are you saying this? God damn it, I'm glad you asked. I'm telling you this because he's just getting to that team. That team was messed up when he got there. This ain't my fault. So what he did, I went right to the general manager. This was fucked up when I got here, sir. Am I wrong? I mean, tell me if I'm crazy.
No, you know.
I don't believe. Now, I get what you're saying because they 0-7. From a record standpoint, it's easy to say that and it's easy to blame a coach. And a lot of people do that. In the case of him, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Considering defensively, you got your carbons aren't completely bare. You got Quincy and Quentin Williams.
Mm-hmm.
They're solid. I really can't think. Sauce Garden, I'm geeking. I was trying to think of that. 3 out of 11 on defense. How much can 3 beat 11? Probably not much, right?
Hey man, listen.
Now,
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Now,
not
flip
wrong.
the coin offensively. Brees Hall.
Justin Fields.
Stop. Justin Fields is a serviceable quarterback. He's not an elite guy that you expect to come out there.
No, he's not elite, but he's there.
But my point is this: when you think of weapons, who really gives you the threat, Justin Fields is not your scary passing threat as much as Brees Hall is a running threat. And if my memory serves me correct, ain't Brees Hall hurt too, or did he get hurt?
I think Brees Hall did get hurt. I think.
So again, if your coverage are bare, how much can I combat any team? In my first tenure here as a head coach, I'm not putting that on him. I don't think that man needs to be fired. Again, like I said, it's subjective because there are some people that think that.
No, that's why I said honorable mention because of the fact that you got these 1-5, 1-6, 1-17, 1-5, and 1-16s, and you got coaches like, you know what I'm saying, like you said, Tennessee, you know what I'm saying, and you got of course everybody says Steve Stefanski should have been gone. Honestly, truth, he should have been gone last year.
Yeah, bro, he's showing his true colors. He's
definitely showing his true colors. Respectfully, he's been showing his true colors.
Now, before we move on, I definitely want to be fair. And I'm being sincere. I'm not joking because most time I know sometimes I can play too much, but I'm being dead serious about this. As football fans, because I'm guilty of doing this, and this is like my, I guess we want to say public apology.
Okay, so if you're guilty of this, I know I'm guilty of it too. Go ahead.
The definite conversations that we have, again, me specifically, off air, I never talk down to anybody when I'm talking to them. There are things that I'm privy to that I have learned in my coaching tenure, and amongst being a trainer, amongst a whole bunch of other things. I never devalue anyone's opinion or take. If there is something that I am more knowledgeable about, the only thing that I ever try to do is educate you on what I know to bring you to make you privy to what I know. Does that make sense?
No, that makes perfect sense.
So I always want to say this. I always want to say this publicly, and I never really get around to it. But because we were talking about this, and I literally had this conversation. So like, all right, full disclosure, before shows, I always practice and have like a test round and talk about whatever I'm talking about with somebody else who knows sports or whatever the case is, and had a conversation. And during one of those conversations with a homie, it came off because another homie was like, yo, you saying it like you better than him. And I didn't want to, you know what I'm saying? And I wanted to say that while you're on here because sometimes when you get in debates, I'm never saying anything to punch down on anyone in these conversations.
Facts.
I've just learned a multitude of things in regards to my sport of choice, and I operate within this field. So I never want to make anybody feel like they can't sit down and have a conversation with me. But I will forewarn you, there are going to be some things that I'm going to tell you that you don't know. That's not me being braggadocious.
No.
I'm just telling you, when it comes down to football, argue with your mouth.
Hey man, that goes with life too, yo. Like everybody feels as though like everybody like, oh, I know this, I know that. I'm gonna be honest with you. If you literally take your index finger, and you point it straight at you like a dot,
yeah,
that's how much you really know.
I can say that, but here's the thing for the people who don't know. So I'll give you a perfect example. Because again, this is why we have the platform.
Knowledge-wise.
Thank you so much for everybody that views and listens to what we be talking about. Because again, this platform is for all sports fans in general. So that's why another reason why I want to clarify that. Because when we sit here and talk to Big Tony will let you know openly what my experiences is. He's just a joker that loves sports.
Yeah.
He said that many times to me, and I'd be like, yo, that don't mean I can't sit and chop it up with him about sports. He can tell me what he disgruntled about, what he liked, what he didn't like. So and I use you for it as an example because, again, he's been on the show, and I've even got feedback about Tony. They be like, yo, Tony just geeking off the conversation, looking at y'all two fools on. And I'd be like, yo, y'all right? Y'all really right? Because again, Tony never got up there and be like, hey, I'm an expert and you need to listen to me. He's never said that. So for some people who want to be judgmental or critical of somebody, regardless of what, this platform, your best podcast, your favorite podcast with Coach Jack. When you watch this, my objective is to never punch down on anyone. Whatever your knowledge level is, I welcome you with open arms. But you have to tread lightly in certain debates, and I will always give everyone an out respectfully. Absolutely. That's not to say that I'm better than anyone, but I definitely want to clarify that because I literally had this debate with a friend. And one thing I don't ever try to do is offend my friends. I would never do that. And that goes to any of the people that watch the show. You may have something subjective that we disagree upon. That does not mean that your opinion, when you put it in a comment section, will not be valued or listened to. So I just wanted to be clear and say that tidbit. And thank y'all for indulging me with that because at least 3 episodes, I'm sitting here. So for the audience, to give you an idea what I mean, the seat that I'm sitting in and the co-seat, the co-seats that are with me, I'm looking straight ahead at you guys and I'm talking to y'all. But y'all notice my eyes ping from right to left because I'm talking to the guys that are in the studio with me. Y'all don't be seeing Tony off camera, bro. Y'all do not be seeing Tony off camera. Tony has looked at me like, I don't know what you're talking about, but this is a good-ass debate. Like, that's a look on his face.
I ain't gonna lie.
Bro, y'all don't get it.
This is my first time actually seeing him without no glasses on dealer. Yo, I need all the time.
Bro, this is why I love coming to work. Bro, this is really why I love coming to work. Because beyond the sports banter, we're all sports fans. That's our commonality. That's what brings us together. That's what makes these conversations dope. But, bro, it just be little stuff like that because shouts out to my man Antonio. He was there when me and Fox was having one of these debates. And he was just laughing because same thing. He was like, bro, I don't know what the fuck y'all talking about, but y'all mean that shit. Like, you know what I mean? So we did have a good chuckle about all of y'all got some good point of view. So, I mean, again, we're all sports fans, all shapes, sizes, colors, whatever your knowledge level is, we welcome you with open arms. And again, I want to personally thank you guys for tuning in. Hey, we're going to get into this part right here. This is a fun topic. It's called Coach Jack Said What He Said. And this comes from, I read sports takes all the time. Do I agree with them all? Of course not. Does everybody agree with me? Of course not. This the part where me and this fool Gray probably go at it because we disagree about a lot of things. And as y'all see, he's just as opinionated as I am. Shouts out to Chris Perkins. And this came directly from Perk.
Oh, Lord.
This came directly from Perk. I was talking, this is one of our former teammates, by the way. Perkins is a guy who is, and you can attest to this, totally unhinged and unfiltered. Whatever enters his little mind, which ain't too good, it comes right out of his mouth. I don't care where we are. I don't care what we're doing. He's going to say that shit.
This is facts.
Now, one time, Perk and I were having a conversation in regards, just a regular football conversation about, our tenure, playing together and stuff like that. And we were just talking about guys in general who can and can't play. And our opinions, this was opinion-based. Now, everybody has had the awkward moment where a name comes up that you all know, but you like the person, and you don't want to throw the person under the bus.
Oh, boy.
And Perk says, such and such and so-and-so is Cheeks. I tried to hold my laughing for as long as I could because I'm not saying the person's name, I'm going to just say this. Perk, you were right. I don't disagree with you. He was right. However, the person was like 10 feet away from us, dude, so it made it like hella awkward. As the conversation goes,
that sounds like it, yeah.
As the conversation goes, we all still talking and mingling. This player walks over. And I'm thinking to myself, this ain't a conversation you want to be a part of. I really don't think you need to be over here right now. Which brings me to this part of the topic. When we have conversations quite often, when we have sports stories, we have things that we disagree on. Like we've been knowing each other for well over a decade. So of course we're not going to agree on everything.
Of course.
But there are some sports takes that you have made that I'm like, oh, Buddy tripping. Buddy is definitely tripping. Sports take number 1.
Oh, God.
Last week, we were talking about our Baltimore Ravens. I don't know why we keep circling back to Ravens. It hurt me, bro.
Why do you do this?
I have to. It's the meat and potatoes, bro. It's the meat and potatoes that hurts. We were talking about our beloved Ravens, and you made a take on them about to trade Keaton Mitchell. And we also mentioned it before the show started. Keaton Mitchell, in my opinion, is a valuable piece.
He is.
And he's young and he has upside.
Man, that's my guy.
Coming off of an injury. Now, you believe that they're going to trade him. And for God's sakes, I hope that's not true.
I hope it's not true neither.
Now, the take that I heard about Keaton Mitchell is that he's not as good as it. Now, full disclosure, you didn't say this part.
I'm about to say,
I'm saying it as a segue because you brought up Keaton Mitchell.
Yeah.
They're saying that Keaton Mitchell is better than Justice Hill. I don't know if you agree or disagree with that, but here's the part where we bounce things off because this is going to definitely be a Coach Jack said what he said because I got to break some things down. Justice Hill is a very valued member of our Ravens offense. But at this juncture in his career, Keaton Mitchell is dynamic and athletic. But again, simply from a cerebral standpoint, I don't think he's ready to say that he is better than Justice Hill as a value weapon. I don't think he is. What is your take on that?
I don't disagree. I actually do not disagree.
Shockingly.
I do not disagree.
Keep it in the box because he didn't. If this was 2 years ago, we'd be arguing like a mug right now.
No, that's a fact.
Right now.
I would say put my boy Keaton Mitchell in there right now. But no, I do not disagree. I really do not disagree. And the only reason why I do not disagree, I feel as though Justice Hill, he is a veteran. And he's healthy, and two, he's more serviceable than Keaton is at this present moment. However, I feel like they need to give Keaton Mitchell a fair share to actually show what he can actually do. Because honestly, truly, every single time when he actually got the reps, you know what I'm saying, he never was able to finish the reps because why? Injury. Okay. Every single time. It always came down to injury. If I'm so serious right now, I feel as though if you give Keaton Mitchell a full-fledged season, because he sat behind JK. He sat
clear as a number 2 option.
As a number 2 option. You know what I'm saying? As a number 2 option. I feel as though he would be in the rotation more than Justice Hill.
I can take that. Okay. Another take that I recently heard. Now, I did dive a little deeper into this. Now, again, full disclosure, I didn't tell Rook any of these scenarios so that the reaction is authentic. So to be totally clear, at any moment, he probably will come out of a egg. I don't know. He may agree with me again, and that'd be an anomaly. But, so, watching how the Kansas City Chiefs are operating, you also brought this up about how good Hollywood looks with the Kansas City Chiefs. Which brings me to this notion. If he was still playing for us, would he still be giving that same level of performance? I say no. What do you feel about this? I'll give you my why in a minute. I just want to get your answer first. You did freeze for a minute, so that's telling me that you're going to disagree? And that's fine. I'm not beefing with that. But, like, yeah, I
Hold on. What you say again? Say that one more time.
If Hollywood Brown was still a Raven, would he be the same wide receiver that he is now in Kansas City if he continued to stay with us?
No. Absolutely not.
Are we 2 for 2 with a green?
Absolutely not.
All right, now give me
I'm gonna be honest with you because the offense over at Kansas City fits him the way they utilize him. They're using him how we saw as Raven fans, how we should have used him. We wasn't using him properly, honestly, truthfully.
I agree with that, and that was a whole. Now, to be clear, for those of y'all that don't know this, if you're not a football person and you're not respects, Greg Roman was our offensive coordinator then.
Greg Roman was our offensive
Hollywood
coordinator.
never got a chance to play under Todd Monken in his system.
At all.
Go ahead.
However, the offense, like I said, the offense in Kansas City, it suits him and it fits his play style. You know what I'm saying? The dude, I'm going to be honest with you, he about to hit the same amount of numbers. We only, 8 weeks in?
Yeah.
8 weeks in, because I did some stats. I did some digging. The dude is literally about to hit the numbers that he had here from years ago in maybe 2 more weeks.
Okay, so basically what you're
in a season.
You feel like he would be he would not be as good as he is in our system currently right now.
No, because
That's a shocker. That's
No.
a shocker.
no,
Now,
because we don't. I'm gonna be honest with you, because the way our offense, really honestly, not with Derrick Henry back there, and then on top of that, and then we got Zay Flowers. So Zay Flowers will stay in the slot, and then I will be honest with you, it will probably be. We will probably be in spread formation a lot more, honestly, because we can spread the field. Hollywood, Zay, Bateman, D-Hop, and Andrews, and got Likely.
Now,
we can spread the offense.
I would say this, going back to last season, because again, we didn't have D-Hop last year, so even if you threw him in the mix, I say that he wouldn't be the same receiver because I think Bateman's development took off much faster than his development. And
because he's not there.
But I don't agree with that. I still think he would come along with development. Yeah, because he's still a good athlete. I'm not going to totally say the dude's bad.
I mean, I'm not saying no. I'm saying
let me make this point. In terms of what we have from Zay and Bateman, Bateman's development was way faster than Hollywood's. Remember, Hollywood had 4 seasons, 3 or 4. Put it like this: in the first 3, he wasn't cranking up to be. He had the 1 season over 1,000 yards.
But wasn't Bateman hurt?
But that's 1 season.
No, I'm saying, but wasn't he hurt though?
Yeah, but 1 season. I'm saying, I'm like this. Once you play in the system, and I think we all know this, as a wide receiver, once you play in the system for more than 2 years, as a receiver, especially when your team is passing the ball and you're a part of that passing attack, your development, you got to hit the ground running. And unfortunately for the Ravens, we know it's a historical thing that we don't develop wide receivers.
That is a fact.
Which is why it's an anomaly that he is as good as he is. Now, I think that has everything to do with him going to Kansas City and playing in that system. So I do agree with you in the regard that that system fits him well because they predominantly pass the ball. But from the notion of with the receivers that we got, even not having a primary guy that we quote unquote develop, I think Zay was kind of. I don't like using the term pro ready all the time. I think Zay had the most upside. You can clearly see that he was a.
Oh yeah, Zay definitely had the most upside. Absolutely.
So the way that we use him and Rashad Bateman, I think in tandem, there will be no room for Hollywood. And that's why I said I don't think he would be the same guy. I think he would be the odd man out, and then basically he would be in the same boat trying to, asking to leave and, I want to go somewhere where they actually throwing the ball. Because again, if he had played when we had Monken, we definitely had balance, and Lamar was definitely throwing the ball.
Now, I will say this. I will say this. I feel like the only reason why I'm saying that because Bateman's been here when we had Greg Roman. So I feel like the only reason why the development was, I felt like it was only because of Greg Roman. So with the ground, like with them getting rid of, with them trading Hollywood, it just, I guess Bateman saw it as, this is my opportunity. Let me go ahead and let me buckle down and actually, what I'm saying, let me showcase what I got.
When you actually give a chance to run routes and actually catch the ball, who wouldn't?
I mean, I'm just saying that. But my thing is, again, like I said, as we all said, I don't care. Yes, y'all can quote me on this. Every Ravens fan said get rid of Greg Roman. Every Ravens fan, including myself.
I was saying it the loudest, y'all. It was me. But it was me. But all right. Last one but not least.
We're 2 for 2 for right now.
Which is odd. That that never happened.
That never happened. People, please understand, this never happens with us. Like literally, normally I'd be like, yeah, nah, I don't agree right there. But nah, we're at this.
Well, last but not least, now I thought this was an interesting take, and now this one came directly from Fox when we was talking about. So Fox always says this thing when he be like, I'm mad old school, and he thinks a person that is serviceable, he'll just flat out in the city trash. Like if they not the number one guy, he'll just be like, yo, they trash. Being on this side, you can't always just throw the baby out with the bathwater. You know what I'm saying? Like certain people are role players, and we do gotta acknowledge that.
I am a role player. I was the role player on the team, so I'm just.
Not a fix. So you can definitely attest to what I'm about to say. So
dang, Fox, so you thought I was trash, bro? Jesus.
No. He didn't say role players are trash. A person that's like, for instance, example.
No, because you literally, so basically, if you're not the number one person, you're trash.
No, he's talking about numbers wise. As a role player, if you're the third option, then you're not going to get as many balls as the number one or number two guy. I'm saying, okay, I'll give you the example to give you some context of what we were talking about.
Okay.
Ocho Cinco. Everybody knows Chad and his history and Seth.
Of course.
He was a dog. He left, went to Miami, fizzled out. Then he went to New England. He was on a Super Bowl team, but his numbers weren't as good. Now, I didn't see this interview. This is just what Fox is telling me. I don't know if it's true or not, or I don't know if he's paraphrasing, but he says, Ocho said when he was in New England, he said that the playbook was too complicated for him, and that attributed to why his performance went down. Again, I don't know that to be true. I do know that sometimes playbooks, you and I both know, playbooks can be complicated.
So I'm gonna just tell you, I did hear that because I watched the Nightcap.
Cool. I'm not saying he was lying. I'm just saying I didn't hear that, but I'm starting to know that. He's something that I heard. So to the point of when you have a guy like Ocho, when he said because he could not figure out the playbook, he was like he trashed. So that's where the debate immediately incited. So here's my thing. One thing does not mean another. Now, this is an example to segue into the question I'm going to ask you. So this is not the actual question.
Okay.
I asked him, I was like, what makes Ocho a bum? I said, well, you realize calling him a bum, that negates everything that he did in Cincinnati.
Facts.
He was like, no, I'm not saying that. So then I asked him, I'm like, what are you saying? Because at the end of the day, there are plenty of players. He gave me a list of like 4 or 5 receivers that made transitions from the team that they started their career with, where they had a lot of numbers, and they was able to make a transition in another system to another team. I said, Fox, do you also know there's a list of receivers and people at other positions that did not make the transition? Now, my point in that is you can't just call a person trash if something is too complicated, because if you've done one thing one way your whole career, you're asked to be doing something else, it's going to take time.
So basically, he's saying Joe Flacco's trash.
He definitely did say Joe Flacco.
Because I'm going to be honest with you. If you
He said that verbatim. He said he was trash.
So
340. Let me get my facts straight, Fox. Let me get my facts straight.
hold on, because I'm going to bring that interview up. I'm going to bring up that interview.
Hey, yo, I'm just asking for a friend. No, I'm asking for myself. I'm asking for myself. 342 yards. Was that an accident? With one receiver getting 23 receptions? Fox, you said that joker was trash. Fox, you said he was trash. Guys, but I digress. To the point in the question that I was getting ready to ask you. That was a segue into it. We brought up, sticking with the Chief, Juju Smith-Schuster, who in the past was a #1 receiver.
Yes.
And he's regressed. He dealt with some injuries his last 2 seasons in Pittsburgh, I believe. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
He was a free agent for a minute. I don't know where he went in between Pittsburgh and Kansas City, but he just surfaced on Kansas City, right?
Yep.
He's now a role player as a #2 or #3. I'm not sure where his position
I
is.
want to say it's a #2.
Now, here's my thing. He also went on to say that Juju was trash. He based it on, to provide context, he based it on his performance before leaving Pittsburgh. The example that I gave him, I said, listen, the numbers may look pedestrian, but you also have to look at who were his teammates. The Steelers had, Tony, you should know because you watched it, because for disclosure, Tony's a Steelers fan. I don't know why I'm saying this, but
Whoa!
but
Oh, my
we know
Lord.
that Juju Smith-Schuster had to line up with the likes of Le'Veon Bell.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was the tail end of the Antonio Brown experiment, right?
Yes.
And he also had, no, this was before Chase Claypool. Chase Claypool came after Antonio Brown was gone to Oakland at the time. Chase Claypool was never teammates with Antonio Brown, so this was definitely.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. So again, you're there with Le'Veon Bell,
Claypool.
Chase Claypool, and you are the number.
Now I'm gonna be honest with you. No, you can throw Antonio Brown in there because he was teammates with Antonio Brown.
But I mean, what I'm saying is, I'm giving him a reprieve just to make the point that Fox says verbatim that he was trash, basing it upon that. Now, to be fair, he did correct himself because he looked at the 2017 roster and realized that Le'Veon Bell was definitely a top 5 back in the league.
Yep.
And the Steelers was running the ball, getting off the bus, they was running the ball.
No fact.
So the likelihood of him throwing the ball to you
Was not.
you probably not. Now they did have a good supporting cast because Martavis Bryant was gone, but what's the other guy? Was Emmanuel Sanders still there?
Emmanuel Sanders. Yes, he was.
Emmanuel Sanders is one more receiver. Is it Washington?
Washington.
Yeah.
Was Washington.
Washington.
Yeah, Washington.
So again, they have received now. Again, one thing about the Steelers, they keep good receivers.
They done.
Even the second, third, or fourth option guys, those guys are usually pretty solid with hands. But my point in that was Juju Smith, I don't believe that he was a bum. Now again, I got to lead all things by saying these are subjective things because you could actually agree with Fox. But the question that I'm asking you is, do you believe at any point he was a bum or trash or whatever you want to do?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. because he was also one of those names like you had no other choice but to bring up like, all right, hey, secondary, we got Juju, right? We got Juju this week, right?
Ladies and gentlemen, we finally got one because it's the first one that we disagreed on, and I knew the shit was coming. I saw it a mile away. Knew it was coming. And we have it. Continue. I'll give mine in a moment. Continue, bro. I just wanted to point it out. I said, ain't nowhere in the world we finna go 3 for 3. I know we would.
Nah, so me personally, I feel like he's one of those, he's just one of those names that you can't sleep on. You just can't. Even when he was at the Steelers. You know what I'm saying? Even when he was at the Steelers and you still had Claypool, Antonio Brown, all those other receivers that he also played with, and as well as Le'Veon Bell, as you said. But again, he's just one of those names that you just can't sleep on. He showed and proves that he's a stamp for whatever team that he plays on. Now, however, you don't necessarily hear his name as much because he's getting strapped, but you still have to. You know what I'm saying? You still gotta put him in perspective. You gotta put him in perspective. You gotta put him in perspective, people. I'm sorry. Listen, Rook said what he said. You still have to respect the man because he is who he is.
Now, I'm gonna say this. Earlier when I talked to Fox, and I said this to him, I'm not gonna say flat out he's trash, but I'm gonna ask you this a real question.
Okay.
If you were starting the franchise right now,
yes,
would he be your number one receiver, yes or no? Would you
no.
make him as a number one receiver?
Nope.
Would you make him a number 2 option?
I would make him a number 2.
That's fair because you did say you think he's still good. Right now, he's merely a role player. When you have Xavier Worthy, when you have Rashid Rice, when you have Travis Kelce, you're supposed to do that, bro. You're supposed to do that. Everybody now, full disclosure, everybody got a name. Oh, them is chief starters.
He's a lucky wide receiver is what I would give.
He in a good situation. You're right.
He started with a great quarterback, and he's with a great quarterback now. If he was with any other quarterback, beginning or now,
you could say
he'd be mid.
Big mid.
Here's my thing. What y'all not realizing, and again, it's subjective. This is what Jack is saying. He's mid right now.
Yeah, he mid right now.
He's a big-ass bag of Reggie. If you know, you know. What I'm saying is, he's a giant bag of Reggie. Stop, bro. Now, I'm glad that we didn't get the 3 for 3, and I'm glad I got that off my chest. I feel a little bit better. I feel a little bit better.
So you mean to tell me that if you're going up against Juju, if you're going to a team that has Juju on their roster, and you still got like the names that you gave,
he's number 3 or 4 easy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But look at the names that you've named, and then on top of it, you still got the ones that's coming off the bench. Again, the man still does what he does. Pat Mahomes make the man look good.
You failing to realize that I just said that? I said he's supposed to do that with those guys in front of him. That's what he's supposed to do. Listen,
he's at cruise control right now. He's not like the number 2 receiver like he was at the Steelers.
I think we should have the Dream Wave special effect when I'm saying this. Imagine this. Picture this.
You get on my nerves.
Takes the field,
mm-hmm.
and he has Xavier Worthy.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And Rashid Rice.
Mm-hmm.
And Travis Kelce.
Okay.
And he is mowing whatever defense of your choice up and down the field. He beating up and down the field, throwing the ball, right? Mm-hmm. Because this offense clearly works. Big Red knows what he's doing as a head coach and offensive coordinator. He got him in a good offensive position. Imagine.
Honorable mention, the running back.
Isaiah Pacheco, yeah. And Kareem Hunt. I'm geeking. And Kareem Hunt. They got 2 good backs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But my point is this. That's a lot of offense not named Juju. So, to my point, imagine being Juju Smith-Schuster when they didn't already set the stage for you, and you want to come in there and drop passes. Guess where you go? Back under the bench. You know what? Add Gordon, you out. Add Gordon, you out. You ever seen that episode about? You know what I'm talking about. Add Gordon, you out.
Listen.
So my point is this. That's what Juju was supposed to do. Your job is to come in and not lay an egg. When we call upon you, step up and produce.
You're absolutely right on that. However, just like you said earlier in this podcast, when you first brought up the Kansas City Chiefs, they keep receivers in their pocket. He is literally one of those receivers that's in their pocket.
But listen, you got to wait for
He's serviceable.
I asked you, was he still good right now? And then I followed up the question is, if you were starting the team, would you start the team around him? And you said no. So we're not going to go from he mid to Because you just said you want to start a team with him, and that's the largest.
I'm not going to start a team with him. No, but
he would be your second receiver.
Yes.
To me, again, I'm not just that's your. To me, Coach Jack would never do that.
No.
Okay, let's name some valuable number twos in the league. You ever heard of a guy named T. Higgins? That's a number 2 receiver. I'm just saying. That's the number 2 receiver.
Okay, all right. You know what?
Ever heard of a guy named Addison up in Minnesota? Last year was his rookie year. That's the number 2 receiver.
No, he a dog. I'm sorry.
That's the number 2 receiver.
He a low-key dog, bro.
So let me ask you a question. You still gonna take him as a number 2 receiver? I only gave you 2. I can name more, but would you still take him?
He still can be a number 2 receiver, dog.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of What's Going On. I'm trolling, but when
I know you are trolling, bro.
He is definitely, in my opinion, let me clarify that, in my opinion, Buddy is mid. He's doing what he's supposed to do with the cast of characters that he's playing with. And now, we didn't get out 3 for 3 today. High five the man upstairs, because this never happens. And I'm kind of superstitious in that regard. I was a little bit worried. I ain't gonna hold you. I was a little bit worried. Last thing, and then we're gonna take care of the favorite parts of the show. A couple episodes ago, we brought up the movie Him, which was a great movie. You got to see it, by the way, starring Marlon Wayans. And it's written, a beautifully written movie to bring you inside the psyche of what it is to be a star athlete, star player. This movie is football centered. And I wanted to specifically tap back on this while we got Rook on the show because, and I'm sad as let me give you your flowers. Like I said, me and this man been friends well over a decade. I met Rook when he teenager, like literally
First out.
Yeah, and so here's the thing I want to say. We maintained our friendship because he was a person that was willing to learn regardless of whatever barriers or hurdles that he had to face. And to think of me or consider me as a OG or whatever, I don't know. I can't tell you what hat he looked at me as wearing for him, but I always, on whatever team I played, I always had to kind of be, well, not always, in my older years as I started to get older and mature in the game, I started to become one of those team leader guys and the OG that a lot of people come to, Rook being one of them. And I'm saying this to you graciously because I've always had a respect for you in terms of you wanting to learn how to be, play 37U with us, even though you could have well on went to school. And and a bunch of us encouraged you to go to school. But
I did.
For those of y'all that don't know, this joker is a PBA boy. I'm never saying nothing like it. I'm not gonna get into the specifics, but show up at AMF and you got problems. But yeah, that's the thing that he does. And my thing is this: I've always respected the fact that he took his own route and was able to thrive. But during our tenure as teammates, he rarely missed workouts with me. I was a gym rat, and as a byproduct, he like, big bro, I'm going as you go. He always gave me that respect as a legitimately as a big brother, you know what I mean? And we have forged a good friendship and brotherhood outside of the sport because neither one of us are playing, but we'll still just randomly call each other. We still Hurricanes fans. I'm going to keep doing that. We're the number 9 team in the country, but I digress. So I got a lot of respect for him. So one thing that I always admire about you, which is leading to the larger point of what I'm about to ask you, you never gave up. You was always resilient, even when you got knocked down, even though, and you don't mind me telling your story, right?
Go ahead.
So with the teams that we played on, you know what I mean? He wasn't always looked at as like the best option at receiver, but he was clearly talented. And a lot of times we got overlooked, even so much for, now I'm going to tell this story. I got to tell this story.
But I remember, I know exactly where you're going too.
We were playing on the team, and in this case, Rook had been with us for a little while now. He was one of the veterans.
Delaware.
And I did not like the fact that these guys who were just joining us, and some of them, they mid, bro. I'm going to say what it was. They was mid. This is a guy who plays receiver for us, knows our system, and has reliable hands. And the offensive coordinator at the time, well, he's going to remain nameless, but he was cheeks too, but whatever. He wasn't going to make Rook the slot. And what we needed at that time, now, to be clear, this was during the game, people.
Definitely.
We got into a down and distance situation where me being the vet, knowing what the down and distance is. Now, I remember this like it was yesterday. Shouts out to my man Smith. 6 was our quarterback.
Yep.
And I remember him saying, I want to throw this route, but he don't. So it was one thing that Smith used to always call. He used to always call all Shirleys. That's all curls. Remember that?
Yeah,
Shirley. When he did it the first time in the game, none of his receivers, other than the one that we had, James Lowe, shouts out to James Lowe, James was the only receiver that knew what that meant. I have no idea what these other 3 receivers was doing. But needless to say, we didn't convert to get the first down. We get off the field. Now I got to go back on the field on defense, and I'm angry because the offensive coordinator talking about, so when we go back out there, he's drawing up a game plan. Now I'm supposed to be on the field, but Rook is standing right here. Smith has already said, yo, I need my receivers in there. So Smith did lobby for him, but I don't think he fought hard enough. That's no shot at you. He being the quarterback. We got to move. The clock move too fast because the defense, we got to take that thing away and give it right back to him, right? I said, the next series, when we go out, Rook, you playing slot. And that was that. You think the offensive coordinator argued with me? Nobody argues with Beast Mode. So to that point, I do thank you for trusting me in that moment. And I also appreciate the fact that you had the candor to, like, wait your turn. Because a lot of guys want to rush to get out there while they still developing their skills, and they put out a bad product on the field. So those 2 things right there for continuously trusting me and being there for me in those times of need. Because, like, little brothers are needed. It been times where he was annoying the shit out of me at the gym because I didn't want to fucking be there. And he called me like, bro. And guess what? Guess who pulling up in front of the crib? That joker right there. So I do appreciate you, man. I appreciate you.
Accountability was everything. Like the friendship, this 10-year friendship, like accountability is literally what kept us together, y'all.
For sure.
Like, they say, you know what I'm saying, find those ones that got, you know what I'm saying, you always got those people that are either tree branches, roots, or leaves, like seasoned people. I can honestly tell you, find you a person that is a root that will hold you accountable to regardless of what you say and do. You feel me? At the end of the day, that's what I do for him and that's what he do for me. And we've been doing this for so long. And I appreciate you for telling my story and everything. But I'm not in the PBA just yet. I'm in the UBA, Underground Bowling.
What I know is this. Name your best bowler. And me, that's that AMF. Ain't no sports betting here. But I'm going to put my brain on that talk over there. I'm going to put my brain on that talk right there.
But at the end of the day, I appreciate you telling the story. And, like, when I say he went to bat for me, y'all, he literally went to bat for me. Like, even, like, and there was one part you missed out. As they didn't know what the call was, I worked with 6 all that whole summer. That whole summer, I worked with 6 on multiple routes outside of practice. Like, he'll hit me up like, "Hey, Rook, what you doing? All right, meet me here this time. Jack, what you doing? Meet me here this time." Blah, blah, blah. Like, we'll literally just meet up and we'll just be playing catch. Like, it'll be a
now,
few.
Before I ask you this question, because I definitely want to say this.
What?
I don't affiliate myself, with lazy people. And that's one thing, me as a player, a lot of the guys on the team did go as I go. But my mainstays, shouts out to my man 6, shouts out to Glenwood. I miss that joker too, little Kevin Hart. Yeah. And shouts out to Rook, man. And I'm geeking, and Pert. Our core guys, we always stuck together like a family. I know I'm leaving out a few, shouts out to Wiz, shouts out to Big Steve, Kurt Booker. Like, we had a legit family. And guess what? We got hardware that we had to buy.
Facts.
But I digress. The question I was going to ask you, the reason why I brought that up, your psyche as a player during your development process. So I know the things on the cutting room floor that you had to go through, right? And I can say that I witnessed a lot of these things.
Yes.
But the one thing I can't speak to is, what was your psyche going through those things in terms of your development? Like, what was the things that I wasn't privy to? What was your development like as a player?
Honestly, I was at the crab at the bottom of the barrel. I was legit a crab at the bottom of the barrel. Honestly, I took it in the same way as I took any other obstacle for real. Back in high school, it was the same exact way. Kenwood. Yeah. I went to Kenwood. Same exact way. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to the Bluebirds. Kenwood was the same way. It was a lot of dudes, and it was some seniors that was above me. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, shouts out to Coach Alexander, man. Shouts out to him. Coach A, I appreciate you, because you definitely gave me an opportunity, and you told me that when my time come out, it will come. So I was a junior, and I put in a lot of work. scout team. You know what I'm saying? Even with me knowing the route tree, you know what I'm saying? It didn't matter. I was a DB as well. But
I have a more specific question. At any point in time when you were getting passed over or anything, have you ever contemplated quitting?
absolutely not. Because at the end of the day, I'm not a quitter. I don't quit. I don't give up. I keep going. I keep pushing. I keep thriving at the end of the day because it's you versus you.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
Is literally you versus you, regardless of what you do. It doesn't even matter. It don't even gotta be sports or anything of the sort. It don't gotta be sports. It don't gotta be anything. It could just be life, yo. It could be life. If you're gonna start something, finish. Because if you quit, you're never gonna know what the end result is.
I appreciate that.
It's you versus you at the end of the day. And it's always, and it starts with you. You know what I'm saying? It starts with you. It starts with the person in the mirror that you see.
That's what's up. I keep saying that I appreciate you because not a lot of people are willing to have their stories talk. Everybody that want to tell you the story, they got to be the star, they got to be the hero, they got to be the reason why the team's won and all that. And I get that. I'm not saying it's not okay to, speak well of yourself. But, speaking from people, and I always try to give personal experience here on this platform because, again, I focus more on the local, what you can actually see, feel, and touch, who you can actually talk to. Yeah, we do talk mainstream, but again, it's always good to have this type of stuff out on the platform. And specifically with that movie and what my takeaway from it, the psyche and why I asked you about the psyche is because, that's a terminology and a phrase that's coined now when people I'm him. And they really mean that. And that can mean so many different things to so many different people.
So,
and as a player turned coach, yes, I do watch the Deion Sanders of the world, and how he exudes, that swagger and that confidence and his abilities in terms of what he knows, or even his IQ in terms of football. All right, this is what we're going to do offensively, blah, 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 with or without his sons. You know what I'm saying? That's a reputable guy who shows, it's a way to do things and you can still maintain your swagger and put your know-how on display. So when he say stuff like, oh, yeah, I'm him, I've been him and all that kind of stuff, I don't get offended by stuff like that. I feel like that's how everybody should feel about themselves, but the reality is everybody doesn't feel that way about themselves. So specifically when it comes down to players and coaches, I always want to give everybody their just due and tell them to keep striving. And I was strategic in this also having you on here is because of your journey. It's so many other Rooks out there. There's so many other Howards out there. You know what I'm saying? Bro, when I met Rook, I thought he was just a quiet kid that would sit over there. My first nickname, I used to call him Daryl. You remember that? It was a show called The Game. And he used to always be Daryl with his lady at the time. And I used to call her girl Melanie from The Game.
Yep.
So Daryl and Melanie are two characters from the show The Game. So I used to always call him Daryl when they call her girl Melanie. And everybody thought that shit was so funny. But again, everybody didn't have a reference to the show. But my point is this. He was a young man. He was chill. He was dedicated to his craft. And he kept showing up. And that's all I needed to see. You know what I mean? Being on any team, being my teammate, because that's the guy I want to trust. The guy that's a wide receiver working out with a lineman, bro.
Facts.
That's a wide receiver working out with a linebacker, man.
Facts.
We ain't in the same weight class.
Facts.
But guess what? He hey, bro, are you trying to hit goals? Listen, there was a period in time I used to work for the security company. I'm not going to say the name of the security company, but that was my post. I used to get paid to work out. And you know who was right there with me? This joker. So if I got to do the work at 5 o'clock, 5:30, guess who in the locker room? Me and him. Get to the locker room, get dressed, it's time to lift.
No, facts.
And that was on a regular basis. And the shit was contagious because so many of our teammates would come out and join us sometime thinking this some new shit. No, bro, we been here. We've been doing this. So again, man, I appreciate your grind and keep showing up. And all best of luck in all your future endeavors because that's the thing. You didn't let your chapter close either. And now, by the way, I'm not kidding about this bowling thing. So shouts out to the They Be Talking crew. We had the ugly Christmas sweater party. Y'all know how that ended. I don't like him sometimes. I don't like you. So he showed up with his bag because he was just leaving your bowling house, right?
I definitely was.
He showed up with his bag. Shouts out to my man Dame, my other brother Dame, who's also bowling. I want to see these two jokers go head. That's the match I want to see. Hey, I'm going to promote that shit like I'm Don King. I'm going to promote that. But, hey, Dame, you a trip when you see this. But listen.
Set it up.
That day, when we got there, he bought his bag. And I said, we had a ball. We had so much fun.
It was definitely fun.
But at the end of the day, whenever we do, I don't care who I'm with. Fox was there too. Antonio was there too. Anytime I get around most of the guys that I consider friends that hang around, shit always gets ultra competitive. For some reason. I don't know who was competing with you, but he was out there trying to throw the ball through the back wall. I mean, every time. I mean, this joker went about 4 or 5 rows without missing the ball. I said, you know what? Get him and his ball away from me. Get him away. But like seriously, it's fun to do. It's fun to watch. But I will say that's a skill set, and I want you to keep pushing with that. Whatever your endeavors are, keep pushing with that. And I appreciate you for joining us on the show tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for my favorite part of the show. Drum roll, please. Local hype. Y'all, this is my favorite part of the show because, again, we get to put on display and give these people their flowers about any businesses, any shout-outs of people that are doing great things in their respective communities, schools, churches, whatever organizations that they participate in. So I wanted to go ahead and take a chance to do this. This is my favorite part of the show because, again, these people are doing great work and they need the recognition. A lot of people go a lifetime doing great works in quiet, in secret, and don't give them no flowers and no recognition. Coach Jack is definitely here to say it loud from the mountaintops because y'all deserve it. First up, we got Val's Sweet Confectioners. You got a sweet tooth? Big back activity. Commencing. It's holiday time and she got them pies. Last year, the apple pies, I would look real fat if I lick my fingers right now before I get it, but I'm just going to say, you definitely need to contact this lady. You can contact her at 443-506-0317. Again, that's 443-506-0317. And that's Val_Sweet_Confectionery on Instagram. Next up, you got Brandon's Burgers. Now, this one I'm really, really proud of. This was a new one to the list. Brandon's Burgers. This is one of my players, y'all. I love entrepreneurship. I love young, enterprising people. Not only is Brandon a scholar, not only is Brandon a big, strong, strapping young man who plays and lines up for the Kenwood Bluebirds and be knocking the piss out of people, he's also an entrepreneur, y'all. Brandon's Burgers, hit him up for orders. You can reach him at 410-365-1025. Again, that's 410-365-1025. Look at him, look him up on Instagram, Big B78. And you can also email him for orders, Brandon Bryant 985@gmail.com. Again, that's Brandon Bryant 985@gmail.com. Oh, and how can I forget? Find him on Instagram. I read one, the other one, Brandon's Burger _. Listen, I'm so proud of that young man. Definitely support what he got going on. You know what I mean? Even if you just simply buy a burger. Hell, you don't have to buy a burger at all. Use that Cash App, use that link, hit him up. That young man is working hard and he definitely deserves it. Shouts out to you, Brandon. Mr. Andre Williams, a licensed clinical therapist, my friend and personal sounding board. Man, reach out to Coach Bray. That dude just know what he's talking about. Not just about football, but about life. Give him a call. Reach him at 443-957-1102. Again, that's 443-957-1102. You can also reach him at www.transit.health. Again, that's www.transit.health. Also new to the list, shouts out to my son, y'all. He made the local hype. So my son, Chris, my middle son, he is a barber and a proud student. I'm a proud dad of a student of Morgan State University. Chris, young, enterprising, and doing his thing. That's one of the ones that keep me on my knees praying, Lord have mercy. This kid marched to the beat of his own drum. But guess what? He got good sense like his pops. You can reach him at Cuts with Chris. That's Cuts_with Chris on Instagram. You can also reach him at 443-622-8589. Again, that's 443-622-8589. So listen, all of these people, well deserving of the recognition, proud of the work they do. Salutes to all of them. Keep working. When you look at the local hype section, and y'all can see the passion in my face with the smiles, I really genuinely mean what I am doing because, again, I know a lot of people doing great things, and nobody ever talks about it. So when you see me just randomly post these things up, yo, holler at these people. Last but certainly not least, shouts out to Dos Migos Network. Every week when I come here and I sit in this seat, this is Jack all day. I'm going to talk my shit and say what I want. But guys like Tony, make sure I get to do that. Yo, this is the best part of my job, bro. I love coming to work. Shouts out to Dos Migos Network. Guys, they do all types of filming and recording. Like when you see this handsome face, get my good side because I don't have a bad one. Listen, thank Dos Migos for that. So thank you for those guys, and that's our local hype. Getting to the yes, Lord moment. I'm swelling up with pride, and y'all don't see how big my chest just got. In my yes, Lord moment, most times I always I relegate that part to my players, and my coaches, and anybody in my community, much like the local hike. But this one is really, really special. Last week, we were talking about Coach Steven Sadesi in Pennsylvania and the troubles that he went through with his team for making some changes for the greater good of those young men, and that community did not appreciate him. Because he's such an old school guy and he does believe in the concept of student athlete. While I've never met Coach Sadesi, I'm pretty sure that because he lays down law and puts his foot down, he really, really means that, because that's essential to our young players, our young scholars, our young student athlete. Student always, always, always comes first.
Absolutely.
Share a little story with you, and I'm gonna tell y'all why I'm so proud. I'm a football coach and at Kenwood High School, and being totally honest, our football team has not been as successful on the field this year. But we have a lot of dedicated young men who show up to practice day in and day out, regardless of what the record is and what we have to go through. I know sure as hell after, a hard day in class and all that kind of stuff, they sure as hell don't want to hear my loud mouth yelling and blowing the whistle at them. But these guys definitely persevere. So we have one more game left in the season, and generally before we have our exit meetings in the last game of the season and playoffs, whatever the case is, we always get a grade check, and the first quarter is about to end. Shouts out to our AD, shouts out Gabby. We asked for a grade check, and I was pleasantly surprised to get this grade check from the team in its entirety, this is JV and varsity combined, in front of me. I have to give these kids shout outs because I'm big on student athlete. I've benched players because if you can't excel in the classroom, don't think that you finna excel out here on the football field. It's that serious to me. Not trying to be deep, but I'm being very serious. I was moved to tears because I was super proud because what I got was not my expectation. I will also admit that. I got some pretty knucklehead kids on my team, and I've said this publicly. I love them to life, but they get on my nerves sometimes, right? But what you would expect from them, what we don't know is the battles that they face with study habits, distractions, other extracurriculars outside of football. Some of these young men got girlfriends, and I'm not saying this is a reason to diamonds or whatever the case is. But through all of that, it's a lot of names, so this list is going to go quick because it is a lot of names. This is my Kenwood Bluebirds all-academic team. You guys get my yes Lord moment, and y'all earned it, man. When I say I'm proud of y'all, and I'm like, y'all can't see it, but I got goosebumps because, again, this is stuff that makes me proud. This is the behind-the-scenes stuff that ain't going to show up on the stat sheet. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is big to me. So, Sami, 10th grader, Kamori, 11th grader, Ryan Brown, 11th grader, Brandon Bryan, what's his name, senior, Kyrese, 11th grader, Rozier, 9th grader, Nico, 11th grader, Zion Dixon, 10th grader, Mayo, my man Jaime Escobar, 11th grader. Shouts out to Mayo. That's my guy. He always just tuned. That's a good kid right there. Orion, senior, Aiden, 11th grader, Derek, 10th grader, Darius, 9th grader, David, 12th grader, Usi Osa. I hope I'm saying it. Osa is the middle name. It's a hyphenated name. He's a foreign kid. His folks are foreign, so I don't like messing his name, but we always call him Uwe, making fun of his first name. But that's my dog, though. That's my dog. Clint, 11th grader. Jeremiah Jones, 12th grader. Jackson, team manager, he's a 12th grader. We have Caleb, a 10th grader. Sean Rose, 10th grader. EJ, senior. Greedy, senior. Bailey, 10th grader. Bentley, 9th grader. Corey, 9th grader. Devin, 10th grader. And Keith Whitfield, 12th grader. All of these kids that I have named, they don't have any missing assignments. They have 0% in terms of failure. They literally were walking around with all A's and B's and maybe a couple of C's. Everybody that I named on this list. Nice. You know how impressive that is? Okay. And now, full disclosure, I know I was just talking about Uzi. If y'all ever met that joker, knucklehead. He ain't missing nothing. So he might be missing the beat out there on the football field. He ain't missing a goddamn thing in that classroom. This is what makes Coach Jack proud. And listen, I'm licensed to say this. Because those are my guys. These are my students. Like, again, I don't just see them as football players. And I know this is a lengthy yes Lord moment, but I'm trying to emphasize the importance of student athlete. Most people just look at it and it's like, you ain't really supposed to care about it. You're just a football coach. No. First of all, I'm a father of 4, and I got 3 kings and 1 queen. And I'd be damned if they was ever going to give me mediocre anything. I don't look at all them kids, that 40 or 50 some odd kids that I coach every day, any different than I look at my own. Thanks. So that is very important to me, and this definitely deserves kudos. So to every name that I name, and for the guys that's working on getting your grades up to that 0%, because I know you can do it, and you only probably got a week to do it, and you better get it done. But I digress. Coach Jack says to y'all, yes, Lord. It's been another great episode of What's Going On in Sports. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I want to thank my man Tony for always holding it down and being here. And I definitely want to thank my guy Rook. This won't be the last time that y'all see the joke, because I swear for God, I know he's going to say some nonsense to me